All right, y'all. Peace. How is everybody enjoying the this Thursday? So, I have a spiritual message as well as I want to talk about the planets and what's going on astrologically, and all of that does tie into the spiritual message that I have for you all. So, we're about to be at the apex of this Lion's Gate portal. And for those of you who are not familiar with what the Lion's Gate is, so the Lion's Gate is when our sun, Sirius, which is our spiritual sun, and Orion are in alignment, okay? This is a time also when, like, the Egyptians would celebrate their new year, because this is a time when the Nile, starting the end of July, the Nile River would be replenished, okay? And so what happens is when these planets come into alignment, it opens up a energetic gateway, a portal. And they say between this portal, there are two lions. And so this is a time when the goddess Sekhmet her energy is very present during this time. And so it opens up a gateway, more than just a portal, a gateway. And this energy is very powerful. It beams down the energies of these three luminaries, the sun, which is in Leo. And we know that Sekhmet is the lion deity. She is a warrior, and she is also a healer. So the mythology about Sekhmet is that Ra sent Sekhmet to destroy the earth because people were not, they become uncouth. They were no longer following spiritual laws. They were out of order, basically. Okay. And so Sekhmet, if you listen to Bobby Hemming and others say, she is the oldest worshipful goddess that they have found. Okay. So Sekhmet is extremely, extremely powerful. If you are a Sagittarius or if you are a Leo, Sekhmet may be very close to you. I know Sekhmet is very close to me. She started to come to me, I would say this is probably about 11 years ago, about 10, 11 years ago. I just started to see her presence everywhere. I would go places and I would see her motif, and I just felt her presence around me. And through further investigation and through further research, I began to realize that she's associated, she's connected to Sagittarius and to Leo. And me, I am a sun sign Sagittarius, and I am Leo rising 28 degrees conjunct this fixed star called Regulus, that's known as the royal star. So I have a very special connection to Sekhmet and to that lion energy. Okay. And so Sekhmet comes, she's very good for protection and defense, and she's also a phenomenal healer, okay? So I work with Sekhmet a lot, and if you purchase the Lion's Gate ritual that I'm doing, it is her energy that I am invoking during this time. I'm actually sitting outside right now, and I'm about to get my fire pit going in a little bit, because I'm going to do a little bit of a fire ceremony to start out the 3-day ritual that I'm going to be doing. Here's my fire pit. I had to go buy a new one because my other one didn't make it from my other house when I moved. So I ordered this one specifically because I needed to do this fire ceremony. So this is a time, you hear a lot of, like, people, I love that we're in the age of Aquarius, and that information that used to be hidden and that used to be suppressed is now becoming available. But what I don't like about it is there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of people who don't take the time to do their due diligence and to really research and to really be diligent in that research. And so there's a lot of people that puts out a lot of propaganda and a lot of frou-frou stuff out here about the Lion's Gate. Like, you can do a ritual and overnight. I seen they were like, you can do this prosperity ritual and overnight you're going to be a millionaire, and all of that is a bunch of foolishness. Okay, I'm just going to be very real with you. As someone who has practiced magic and the spiritual arts for approximately 26, 27 years, okay, and I have been taking clients and had my business, Enchanted Divas. This will be my 11th year come October. I'll have my anniversary. It'll be 11 years that I have been servicing the spiritual community under the name of Enchanted Divas. Spirituality and the spiritual arts, and this is a science, does not work that way. Okay. Nobody does one ritual and becomes a millionaire overnight. Okay. If they did, they have truly bartered their soul to something other and are not themselves responsible for that manifestation, but has become a slave to some entity or deity that has granted them so many years of wealth and prosperity, and at the end of it, they will not own their soul. Okay, let me be very clear about that. In order to become a millionaire through spirituality and using magic, you're going to have to show yourself you're going to have to put in the work, in other words, okay? Show yourself approved and put in the work. It takes time to build spiritual power and spiritual knowledge, okay? It has taken many, 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 many years. Maybe I'm going to go even further, many lifetimes, because a lot of the knowledge that I have and abilities that I have been cultivated over many lifetimes, as I have had many readings done on me about my past lives and things like that. Even when I look at my natal chart, it's very clear that I have been spiritual practitioners in many of my past lives. Some of them even been deities, been a deity myself, like Oya. Sekhmet has come up in my readings and things like that. So it has taken me many lifetimes to develop the skill and power that I have. And even in this one, I have dedicated, like I said, 26, 27 years of my life to this path. And no, it is not easy. Sometimes it is very, 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 very hard. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, but I don't give up. I don't choose anything different. I don't stop invoking my spirits and my deities. I don't stop honoring them. I'm very loyal to them. I'm very committed, and I'm very disciplined in my spiritual work. And some of you want to dibble and dabble in the spiritual arts and wonder why things in your life are not getting better, why you're not able to manifest, why you're not able to get consistent results with your work. And it's because you're not disciplined. The spiritual message today is discipline, commitment, and fortitude, resilience. It's required on this path. If you're not going to commit to the deities that you're trying to work with, why would they commit to you? Many of you are dabbling in spiritual sciences. You're not taking it seriously. It's something that you do to entertain yourself, with YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and it's like this whole awakening. It kind of has also brought about a lot of actors, people who are acting, people who take spirituality and magic as an aesthetic, and it's something that they do because they think it's cool and they think it's fun. It's the new thing to do, and they notice these celebrities are now becoming more vocal and about their spiritual practices and things like that. And so it's a fad, it's a trend. And a lot of people are getting themselves into serious, serious trouble out here in the spiritual realm because they don't take it seriously, because they're not disciplined and they're not committed to what they're doing. If you're not going to be ready to show yourself approved, do the research, put in the effort and the time, and be consistent, you'd be better off going back to Christianity, going back to mainstream religion, and being a part of the sheeples that somebody else leads and guides, okay? I've come across too many people on my path, and don't get me wrong, I have made mistakes, but you learn from those, okay? I have not always had all the answers, but I was willing to do the research, do the work, and put in the effort to learn these things. And so through that process, I have always been able to pick myself back up. And yes, I have been through some of the worst spiritual attacks. I have had some of the worst consequences from helping people and getting involved in other people's situations, because when you come to me and you purchase a ritual, you purchase a reading, whatever it is, I take on your problems. Not metaphorically, but actually, okay? And many of you that come to me, and this is not judgment, because my life I've had some serious problems, and this is why I have walked this path and why I chose this path, because I was the one who had to resolve them, okay? But some of you are coming to me because your life is in total disarray and you have some serious spiritual issues. It is not time to play, okay? Starting with this Lion Gate portal, one thing about this portal is whatever has been suppressed, whatever has settled down to the bottom, and you're holding on within you, whether it's trauma, whether it's karma, whether it's, negative energies and things that you have not dealt with, this portal will bring that stuff up and accelerate it, amplify it, because it's trying to purify you first. With all of that energy coming from Sirius, coming from Orion, and coming from the sun, it's trying to purify you first. And if you have not been doing the work that you should have been doing all this year, the year before, the year before, and the year before, you are behind schedule, my dear. And you may not like what the portal brings up. I went through a Lionsgate portal once, and I'm going to tell you, baby, woo, it was hard. I made it through it by the skin of my teeth. But I promise you, I can tell you that it's not all love and light like people make you think it is, okay? Now, this Lionsgate portal for me is a lot better because I did go through the fire. I did stop, do my work, and was diligent in doing it. And you all have to do the same thing. It's time to stop playing around with magic and spirituality. It's not a fad. It's not an aesthetic. It is a science. Just like a scientist has to train for many years before they let them in that lab, because you can blow yourself up in that lab. Well, the same thing for spiritual science. You need to train. You need to be diligent. You need to research before you go out here mixing up spells, mixing up religions, mixing up practices, creating this, that, and the other, okay? People are really doing themselves a major disservice by not taking these spiritual sciences seriously, okay? If you come to me for spell work, I'm going to ask that you first and foremost be serious and be patient. I am a solitary practitioner. I don't subcontract my work out to other people. I don't have a yaya or a madrina or a padrina, no one behind me that is going to fix my hiccups and fix my problems and cleanse me and make life better for me after I go out here and get into trouble fighting and protecting and healing and cleansing y'all, okay? So I said that because I have some people, I love y'all, but y'all gonna have to be patient. If you're not a VIP client, don't expect VIP level service, okay? If you purchase a ritual from me, if you purchase some oils or some products from me, understand it's gonna take time for me to make it, because I'm making it under the right astrological cycle. I'm aligning it with the right particular deity. And I don't go on the internet and Google a spell and then do it. I go to my ancestors, I go to my Ori, I go to my gods, I go to spirit, and they help me formulate the rituals and the spells that I do for clients and for myself. And this is why they are effective. Like I said, I have been taking clients going on 11 years at this point, and I love y'all, I have some of the most loyal clients. The majority of the people that I service are repeat clients, and they come back because what I do works. Yes, it may take me time to process your work, but it will be done. It will be done properly, okay? It may take me time to create your products, but you can trust the quality of the products and the services that I provide to you, because I take this seriously. I live by this, and I will die doing this, okay? I have had many people try to dissuade me from this spiritual path. Some of you may have family members, friends, it could be spirits trying to get into your head about what you're doing. I don't step away from my path. I may take a break from servicing clients. I may have to do a lot of internal work and work on myself, but I do not, absolutely do not forsake my spirits. And they know that. That's why they come through for me in the clutch. That's why they pick me up off the battlefield when I have been broken down and restored me, okay? And the spirits will restore you. But please understand that you have to show yourself approved. You're going to be tested on this path. There's going to be times when you're going to want to give up. You can't, okay? Take a break, reassess, collect yourself, and come back to it the next day. But do not give up. A lot of you have some serious work that you're going to be needing to do over the next 6 to 7 months. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take discipline. It's going to take fortitude. It's going to take faith. You will be tried. You will be tested. But if you are diligent, you will be rewarded, okay? If you've been called to service the community and other people, Do it with good, I'm sorry, Awu Pali, which means good character. Okay? Some of you I have met on this path do not have good character. Okay? You can fool people. You can't fool spirit. Okay? You can't fool deity. They will see through that. There was a woman on the internet that was talking about how she was going to petition Papa Legba to curse somebody. And guess what Papa Legba did to her? Crossed her over. She's no longer with us. Okay? Like they say on here, she's been unalived. Okay? You can't play around with this stuff. You can't just go and pick up spells and do rituals because you're mad at somebody and you're not justified in what you're doing and you want to go curse someone. Okay? I don't do that. But please, y'all, respect the craft. Respect spirituality. Respect this science. Treat it like a science. Not like a fad. Not like something you play with. Not like something you dabble in. Those people get themselves in situations that they're not able to get themselves out of. Will you be tested? Will you have challenges? Absolutely. But if you possess good Awu Pali, good character, if you are diligent, if you are disciplined and consistent and have resilience, I promise you, there will never be a situation that you face, a challenge that you have, or an obstacle that you cannot overcome. Whatever it is in your life, and believe me, I am a testament to that. I have been through some hell in my life, but guess what? I stay consistent. I keep my faith, and spirit always restores me. Anything that you have lost, you will get back tenfold. Please understand that. But don't play around with this stuff, y'all, okay? Now let's talk about what's going on with the planets, okay? So right now, we have a lot of planets in retrograde. Mercury is coming to the end of its retrograde, so we know that these retrogrades are more intense at the beginning and the end. So Mercury's retrograde ends this Sunday on the 10th. We have Saturn that's still retrograde, Neptune that's retrograde, Pluto is retrograde, Chiron is also retrograde, okay? So we have a lot of, when we have retrograde planets, just understand that it's going to bring us some challenges. It's going to slow things down a bit. Now, Mars has moved into Libra. So Mars is in opposition to Saturn, it's in opposition to Neptune, and it's in opposition to Chiron. So Mars is the planet that deals with how we take action in life, okay? How we go after what we want. Now, with Mars and Libra, Mars is not necessarily in its best position in Libra because Mars rules Aries. And Aries and Libra are opposite signs. So Mars and Libra is saying you want to think before you act. You want to weigh up your decisions and think things through before you pop off and act, okay? Because also Saturn is in Aries in retrograde. Now, Saturn is discipline. Saturn is work. It's karma. Saturn is restrictions as well and consequences. So there's some friction there, right? You may find that there's some opposition as to things that you want to start, new projects, with Saturn being there, kind of delaying things, putting restrictions on you and how you start projects. You may feel it may even affect your energy to where you feel you don't have the power or the energy to do certain things. So you want to conserve your energy during this time as well. And you want to be mindful of your actions. You want to be mindful that you don't do things that is out of balance, that's not just, because Libra deals with justice and the scales and that Mayatian energy, okay? And people gonna want to pop off. You got to understand that. Now, in the background of all of this, we're getting ready to have a full moon on the 9th. The full moon is going to be in Aquarius, conjunct Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Now, Pluto is the planet of chaos and destruction, of rebirth. So Pluto tears things down and then builds it back up. So just be mindful on an emotional level, okay? You may feel that there's some things, especially all of this is happening while we're going through the Lion's Gate, which is amplifying this energy and trying to purify us and trying to realign us with these higher frequencies. So there may be a lot of emotional stuff that you suppressed. These could even be things dealing with your ancestors as well, because remember, we've got Chiron here retrograde in the sign of Aries as well. So these could be some ancestral things that will be illuminated, that will come to the light, that that Pluto energy comes in and digs up the bones, digs up the suppressed stuff, things that you've repressed, suppressed, concealed, and digs that stuff up, brings it to the surface. Some people are going to even have an emotional breakdown, okay? But that breakdown is intended to be a breakthrough, okay? So this is why I recommend it to people to do your cleansing, to do your purging. This is why I'm starting out with this fire ceremony for purification, so that there won't be as much resistance. And so you'll be able to receive the light, the codes, and those codes will be able to be anchored into your body, and you'll be able to raise your frequency, align with this higher frequency, and manifest with it, okay? Because there is a lot of manifestation ability under this particular transit, okay? But this is a very powerful time, and it doesn't end on the 8th. That's just the apex. This energy will play out pretty much until the end of the year. It's like a dimmer switch. So it's at its height tomorrow, and then it will start to wane and wane and wane as we go through the rest of this month. But this energy will be present. And with that full moon amplifying it with that Aquarian energy, because remember also, the sun and the moon will be in opposite positions because it's the full moon. So the sun will be in Leo, the moon will be in Aquarius. So this is about balancing the scales in so many ways, about bringing harmony. Energies, and this is what Sister Myra says, that we don't mix energies, you harmonize these energies, okay? You bring balance to them through harmonizing them. Think of the temperance card, where you see the angel pouring water from one cup to the other, tempering, harmonizing this energy, creating balance, okay? So I don't want to spend too much time preaching to y'all. I'm just channeling the spiritual energy and talking about the things that are relevant. Take advantage of this time. Spend time out in the sun. Like I'm sitting here in the west. It's best to invoke Sekhmet in the west. So I'm going to begin invoking her soon. I got me some wood so I can invoke, because I want to, you can use candles. For those of you who want to try to do something, you don't have to get a fire pit and, light a big fire like I'm going to do. Well, it's not a big fire, but light a fire. You can work with candle magic, okay? We'll do the same thing. But I personally, as a fire sign, I even got on my red today, y'all, okay? I want to start a fire, okay? I want to invoke the element of fire and call Sekhmet into the fire and let her purify, let her cleanse and heal, let her protect. This is a very good time to do protection work with her as well. And we're going to need that kind of protection, y'all, because there's a spiritual battle going on out here. Hello, y'all. A lot of y'all wondering why your life is in chaos. It's because you're under spiritual attack. Okay? All right, y'all. I love y'all. Peace.